Welcome to the Anger Management and Conflict Resolution Program. Thank you for joining us, and you may have logged on because you would like to understand anger and how it actually turns into rage, which brings harm to us. What we'd like to do is show you the contents to explain that anger actually comes from various sources, and you'll see now from this overview that there are in fact 8 areas that we're going to be journeying through to explain that anger can come from unmet needs, and when our threat for safety is being violated through some type of harm, attack, puts us into fight or flight. So therefore unmet needs can also cause anger, which we'll be able to take you through in detail. Then we'll look at number 2. In part 2 we'll talk about grief and loss, the loss of a job, the loss of a loved one through death, the loss of health related areas can all cause anger, a normal part of the grief cycle. In number 3 you'll see when boundaries get violated, that too causes us to get angry, and we need to know how to be able to speak up and how to be able to communicate, no, that's not cool, don't speak to me like that, don't do that. Number 4, disappointment and smashed pictures. We make assumptions, we get angry because we don't understand or look at the facts. The idea that life is supposed to be like this, it doesn't turn out like that, that too causes us to get angry. Number 5, guilt and a shame-based identity. I feel bad about who I am as a person. I feel angry with myself. I feel angry with others. I need to build a healthy sense of self to be able to love myself, to be able to love others too. Unforgiveness breeds bitterness, resentment, revenge, anger and rage. And we need to unpack that in great detail to ensure we understand what it is, what it isn't, and how to be able to work through it. There are many traps. 3 main ones that we'll be explaining. Vitamin deficiencies, and you'll say, huh? What's that got to do with the price of fish in Bulgaria? Everything. Anger is not just an emotional and psychological response to what's going on around me and what's happening within me as a response to the world around me. It's also what's happening in the body. If the body's stuffed, so is the brain. If the brain's stuffed, it affects our moods, emotions, and how we function and feel. And we'll be looking at brain chemistry, and areas of vitamin B deficiencies like B1 and B3 and zinc deficiencies are notorious for causing anger and related problems, even temporal lobe damage. And whilst we don't have the scope to cover that in great detail, the dual diagnosis training that is also available on the Udemy platform, that explains it in far more detail if this is an area that you'd like to understand. And of course, substance abuse. Yes, of course, anger can be exacerbated and exaggerated by chemicals like alcohol, cannabis, stimulants, etc. And we need to understand that if we're struggling with anger and rage, the last thing that we need is to be able to add chemicals into the equation. Does that make sense? So as you can see that there are 8 key areas that we will be taking you through to understand how to manage anger and ensure it doesn't turn into rage. Nothing wrong with anger, it's a normal human response. Rage is the problem. Rage brings harm to us and to others. And I'll be able to help you to understand how to be able to manage your anger and hold it back when it gets into that yellow, amber traffic light stage to ensure it doesn't go into the red meltdown. Rage is our problem. So when we get to the yellow stage, in module 2, we'll be talking about how to bring it back down from yellow, amber to green again.